Good morning, everyone, and thank you for being here. Today marks a defining moment as we officially present the third era of Earth governance, a visionary framework centered on a global interest-free economy, led by none other than Arbiter Dato Mohamed Zahari bin Awang, Group Chancellor, Prince of State, and founder of the Reserve Bank World Group. We're honored to have him with us today, to share his insights and answer your questions. With that, ladies and gentlemen, the floor is now open. Please feel free to begin with your questions.
Arbiter Dato Mohamed Zahari bin Awang, Prince of State, Group Chancellor, and founder of the Reserve Bank World Group. Thank you once again for taking the time to speak with us about the extraordinary vision you and the Reserve Bank World Group are putting forward. We touched upon the significance of 2026 in our previous discussion, but could you elaborate further on why this specific date is the inflection point for what you term the third era of Earth governance?
The date 2026 is not arbitrary. It signifies a fundamental shift in the very structure by which humanity organizes itself globally. Historically, we experienced the first era of monarchy, which governed the world for 250 years. This was followed by the second era of elected democracy, beginning in 1796 and concluding in 2026, a period also lasting 250 years. We are now poised to enter the third era, a new paradigm for global governance.
And you are identified as the Almighty Creator's chosen candidate to usher in this new era. What does this specific calling entail for you personally and for the Reserve Bank World Group?
My role is defined by spiritual capabilities and strength. The responsibility I bear is to inaugurate 2026 by implementing the core principle of this new era, the third era of an interest-free economy. This economic system is designed to span another 250 years until 2276. It is a calling rooted in divine will and purpose.
An interest-free economy on a global scale is a monumental undertaking. Your blueprint, the DZA blueprint, outlines the Iron Corridor economy as the means to achieve this. Could you break down this concept for us? What exactly is the Iron Corridor economy?
The Iron Corridor economy is the foundational economic pillar of the third era. It is the practical solution to establishing a truly interest-free global economy. The mechanism involves creating a single legitimate platform where every nation and territory on earth is incorporated. Specifically, this means establishing 209 Company Limited, named after the nations of the world, and incorporating the 3,227 sovereign states or territories as Company Limited as well.
So, 209 nations plus 3,227 territories, totaling 3,436 incorporated entities. How does this corporate structure facilitated via the Reserve Bank Group eliminate interest and activate human life free from the system you mentioned is condemned by the Almighty Creator, one God?
By incorporating all these entities and bringing them onto a unified platform via the Reserve Bank Group, every inch of Earth's land is transformed into economic pillars. This structure allows for the management and flow of resources and value without the necessity or application of interest. The traditional system of charging interest, seen as burdensome and condemned, is bypassed entirely. This new structure is designed precisely to activate human economic life free from that constraint.
To manage the financial flows within this massive incorporated global economy, you hold several banking licenses. Could you detail these licenses and how they are specifically structured to support interest-free economic exercises?
Yes, the banking structure is critical. We currently have 4 distinct banking licenses: the DZA Commercial Bank Incorporation, the DZA Investment Bank Incorporation, the DZA International Offshore Bank Incorporation, and the DZA Quantum Digital Bank Incorporation. These licenses are not designed for traditional interest-based lending. Instead, they are fundamental tools to streamline monetary flows as part of our interest-free economic exercises. They allow us to facilitate transactions and manage capital movements globally without being subject to or imposing the pressures of interest rates, typically associated with global banks.
You've also developed the EES, Earth Economy Solution, to refine financial administration. Who leads this initiative and what are its key operational areas?
The EES Earth Economy Solution is a crucial economic element designed for the meticulous administration of this new system. It operates with its own strengths and capabilities and is overseen by the Al Mutawakkil Committee or EES Committee. This committee is headed by Professor Dr. Haja Marzalina Manso. Notably, she is not only the head, but also a tropical forest scientist, underscoring the integrated approach that includes environmental preservation as a core task within the EES.
The EES committee structure seems quite comprehensive, with several departments listed in the source. Could you elaborate on some of the key functions of these departments and how they relate to the pilot project mentioned?
Certainly, the EES committee encompasses vital areas. We have an artificial intelligence AI department to enhance efficiency. Crucially, the 1H1H department, standing for One Habitat, One Humanity, is responsible for free shelter provision for the 3,227 sovereign regions. There's also a basic human education department, a natural disaster department, and a national economic development program department. On the financial support side, we have National Monetary Solutions departments, NPL, non-performance loan, FDI, foreign direct investment, and a capital injection department specifically to support stock exchange public listed companies and GLCs. Finally, there's support for NGO establishment, which includes foundations operating under the Prince of State Chamber charity.
And the Prince of State Chamber charity is directly involved in a significant pilot project. Could you provide more details on this project, specifically the 45,000 Free Shelters initiative and the unique way recipients become donors as described in the source?
Yes, the pilot project is a tangible manifestation of the 1H1H initiative. Through the Prince of State Chamber charity, we are committed to provide 45,000 free shelters. This project begins with a focus on native tribes and communities in the nation of Hawaii, prioritizing its indigenous people. The plan is then to expand this initiative to other nations with significant indigenous populations such as the Maori, Fiji, Samoa, and other native groups globally. The mechanism for receiving funds and building these homes is unique and outlined in the method. Recipients of DZE Reserve Bank funds, often facilitated via the Premier Elite Black Card, act as donors. This means they receive the funds and use them to purchase housing lots and build the homes. However, it is explicitly stated that they act as contributors, not as landowners. This distinction is made because of national land codes, ensuring the project aligns with sovereign regulation while still providing free housing.
Funding projects of this scale requires immense capital. The source highlights that your sovereign wealth funds are sourced through the redemption and recovery of heritage and numismatic assets. Could you explain this process and the projected scale of funds acquired?
This is the core method by which the capital is generated. We engage in the redemption and recovery of heritage and numismatic assets. My position as the world's largest supplier in this specific domain. We deal directly with major national treasuries, including the US Treasury, Brazil Treasury, and Canada Treasury. Through this process, we are projecting the acquisition of funds on a scale that is truly unprecedented. Octillions of dollars are projected to be acquired.
Wow, octillions of dollars is a figure that is difficult to comprehend. There is also a significant deposit in a mirror account at the Central Bank of the nation of Hawaii. What can you tell us about this?
That deposit is a concrete step demonstrating the scale of these funds. A mirror account was established at the Central Bank of the nation of Hawaii. This account now holds 38,350 trillion USD. This deposit occurred on 12th July 2024 and was formally received by the Governor of the Central Bank of Hawaii in Kuala Lumpur. This specific deposit represents the largest central bank reserve globally.
That is indeed a staggering figure and a historic event. How will this vast reserve of 38,350 trillion USD in Hawaii be utilized within the DZA blueprint?
This immense deposit serves a critical purpose within our long-term sovereign wealth plans. It will be converted into bonds for nations in need. The primary aim is to provide capital specifically for infrastructure development within these nations. This infrastructure investment is key to boosting their GDP and, importantly, enhancing resident productivity. It's about providing the fundamental building blocks for economic growth under the interest-free model.
Arbiter Dato', this entire vision, from the economic structure to the humanitarian projects and the scale of funding, is immensely ambitious. What is the underlying philosophy or the guiding principle driving this colossal endeavor?
The foundation of this work is spiritual activation. Our aim is to systematically eliminate hardship and lift the burdensome pressures previously imposed by what we identify as the global elite's satanic system. This system, in our view, has trapped humanity through mechanisms like interest and other forms of control. Our philosophy, Sumber Daya Manusia kepada Manusia Berdaya Sumber, is encapsulated in a shift in perspective, moving from the conventional view of human resources, where people are seen merely as inputs, to empowering resourceful humans, recognizing the inherent potential in every individual. That is based on the spiritual principle of creating visible form, seeing sounds, hearing colors, a recognition that reality can be shaped through conscious, divinely guided action. We understand that the success of this vision is entirely dependent on divine will. We are consciously moving away from negative traits and approaches that have plagued the previous eras, explicitly rejecting behaviors like being wolves and grapes, arrogant fools, downgrading others, and underestimating people. In Malay words, serigala dan anggur, bodoh sombong, men-down gradakan orang and men-underestimatekan orang lain.
For many listening, the scale, the figures, and the concepts you've described as too good to be true. How do you address that natural skepticism?
That reaction is entirely understandable. What was previously thought to be impossible, something beyond belief, has now manifested into reality. It is no longer a concept, it is happening. It is truly true. Our guiding principle, our source of strength and conviction is absolute faith. As my motto states, Sumber Daya Manusia kepada Manusia Berdaya Sumber, you whom I worship and from you I seek help. This is the bedrock of everything we do.
Arbiter Dato' Muhammad Zaharri bin Awang, we thank you for providing such a detailed and extensive insight into this vision for the third era of Earth governance.
You're most welcome.
Once again, thank you, Arbiter Dato' Muhammad Zaharri bin Awang, for sharing your visionary blueprint for the third era of Earth governance.
If there are no further questions, we'll bring this session to a close. Thank you all for your thoughtful questions and participation. This concludes today's press conference. On behalf of the DZA Newsroom, we thank you for joining us. Stay informed, stay engaged, and have a wonderful day.
In the land of legends where dreams take flight stands a figure of power, a beacon of light. Muhammad Zaharri, the name we all know, a global innovator with wisdom to show.
From Santa Pa, Tokenaland's innovative mind. Blue sky thinking, dawn, soul and body, a path to find. The Living Smile program unites on call. Al Joni and Bathami inspires our land, bringing hope and prosperity to stand tall. One voice raised, our song embraced, Earth economy solution via blue sky grace. This blue sky thinking changes the world, a better future for all unfurled. 851 regions, a mighty scope, 8,039 of 8-star chief integrity. We hope Reserve Bank platform ignites the way, foreign direct investment leads our day. One voice raised, our song embraced, Earth economy solution via blue sky grace. This blue sky thinking changes the world, a better future for all unfurled. Local domestic investment for GDP gain, lifting per capita income, that's our aim. Sovereign wealth fund, a divine gift, economies and spirits it will lift. One voice raised, our song embraced, Earth economy solution via blue sky grace. This blue sky thinking changes the world, a better future for all unfurled. The GB formula shines its light, 41,578 company platforms to remedy poverty, army, education, care and healthcare are our goals. Demand facing disasters, demonetization, hand in hand. Nature's branded rivers, trees, marine life, lakes, woods, planets, forests, minerals decay. One voice